Hi, welcome to Activity 2.9. We're on page 124, over here 124. Please label your learning targets number 1, 2, and 3. Number 1 says, analyze the transformational nature of conflicts in the hero's boon. Number 2, contrast the protagonist with another character. Number 3, explain the novel's theme in written responses. We're going to be reading pages 146 to 179 in the Giver. But before we do that reading, we're going to do the before reading questions. During today's activity, you'll be working in discussion groups, shared reading, close reading, note-taking, and drafting. Please put your finger on number 1 for the before reading. Before we read, it says, think about the protagonist's departure into the heroism stage, stage 1, and his road of trials. How has the character changed as a result of these trials or conflicts? Use the sentence frame below to explain the change, and be sure to provide evidence to support your interpretation. In the beginning, the protagonist was blank, but after blank, he becomes blank. Please fill that out now with your shoulder partner. Okay, number 2. What do you remember about the boon in stage 2, the initiation of the hero's journey? So the ultimate boon, you're going to turn to page 17 to find what the ultimate boon is with your shoulder partner now. Okay, during reading, number 3, it says, how do conflicts with society, including characters who believe in society's way of life, transform the character into a hero? As you read, take notes in the chart below. So you have to have a conflict with society, heroic traits revealed through conflict, and then connection to theme or subjects. So you have to have the conflict in society within the Giver as you read today, heroic traits revealed through this conflict, and then connection to the theme, the life lesson that the book is trying to teach. So here is basically a quote. So please draw 3 quotes. You need 3 conflicts. Then the heroic trait, and then the theme, a statement that shows the life lesson of the book based off this conflict. So you'll be doing that as you're reading. All right, number 4. Use your reader-writer notebook to continue adding your personal vocabulary list. Identify, record, and define at least 5 new words. So make sure you're keeping up on that. I'm checking them. Number 5. After reading, so you're going to read with your shoulder partner. I'm going to read these after reading questions to you so you know where you're headed, but you will be reading these pages with your shoulder partner alternating. Number 5 says, interpret the hero's boon. What did the hero achieve through the journey? Number 6, which characteristics helped the hero to achieve the boon? Explain. Then you're going to be writing an introductory paragraph. It says, number 7, read and analyze the samples of introductory paragraphs below. Which one would be used to write an essay structured as compare and contrast? Which would introduce an essay based on a different expository organizational structure? So you're going to tell me which one is a compare and contrast essay, 1 or 2, and which one would be a different expository organizational structure. Here we go. Number 1. People say that kids are a lot like their parents, but in Kurt Vonnegut's story, Harrison Bergen, this is definitely not the case. Harrison Bergen, the protagonist, and Hazel Bergen, Harrison's mother, have close to nothing in common. Hazel is completely average and therefore content, while her son is completely superior and therefore rebellious. Okay, please label this either compare and contrast or a different expository organizational structure. Okay, sample 2. A hero must be willing to take risks and have the courage to go against the norm to help others. Harrison Bergen by Kurt Vonnegut is a story of how society holds back its most talented members in search of the supposed ideal of equality. Harrison Bergen, the protagonist, is a would-be hero who is struck down before he has the opportunity to begin, much less complete, his hero's journey. Please label this compare and contrast or a different expository organizational structure. Okay, so let's discuss which ones those are. Next, you have to check your understanding. Analyze the prompts below. Notice that each prompt requires a different organizational structure. Choose one of the prompts and write a response. So you either are going to circle prompt 1 or expository prompt 2, and then you're going to write on that on the class blog or in your notebook. So prompt 1 says, think about the protagonist's characteristics. What he or she achieved and how he or she changed by the end of the story. Contrast the protagonist with another character from his society. Be sure to introduce the topic clearly, establishing a controlling idea, Provide examples from the text, including at least one direct quotation and analysis to support your idea. Sequence ideas logically using the appropriate compare and contrast structure. Choose the appropriate verbal mood for ideas you want to express. Write in active voice unless the passive voice is specifically needed. Okay, expository prompt 2, you can choose this one too. It says, think about the final stage in the hero's journey, the crossing or return of the threshold. What does the hero learn about life as a result of the journey or the theme? Be sure to introduce the topic clearly, establish a clear, controlling idea, provide examples from the text, including at least one direct quotation, and analysis to support your ideas. Sequence ideas logically using the compare-contrast structure. Choose the appropriate verbal mood for the ideas you want to express. Write in the active voice unless the passive voice is specifically needed. So in both of these, they want you using compare and contrast structure. So we're going to go back here and reflect on the beginning of these essays. Were they using compare and contrast? You want to make sure that whether you're doing prompt 1 or prompt 2, you're comparing and contrasting throughout in the active voice. And it's clear with evidence, you're backing up the evidence, and it's logically sequenced. So I'm going to give you 25 minutes to write that. Ready, set, go.